gonna be so much of... I stood here at the Pokemon Center and sold some stuff, because that's all I've been doing for 3 hours of gameplay. Hi, Vince. Hi, Jared. How's it going? Glad you could make it. I'm at, what, $122,000? And I need, what did I say? 14,600 coins. $292,000, so I'm just shy of halfway. So what I've been doing is just mood. If I could have an army of cats chucking gold coins at birds and rats and picking that up, as well as the nuggets they're digging out of the ground, that'd be what I do with my life. That'd be my career. But alas, that's not the reality I live in. No luck on the shiny yet. It's just a matter of time, though. Surely after the Spearow would be the next one. Oh, I can run a prediction! That's a thing that happens. Prediction. I just do extra, but that might have to end earlier than that. Set it to 5 minutes. Set it to 2 minutes. And you redeemed a VIP yourself for a stream. Congratulations and thank you. Congratulations. You should see that badge pop up any second. Got that diamond badge. What other... Oh, what was I upset? I did add the bark one. Stretch, hydrate, unlock stuff. Oh, yeah. That was... I feel like I was telling the story to somebody yesterday or the day before, but the only time the ban... I guess not the only time, but the most recent time the ban in-game action was used was I was hatching eggs in Scarlet and Violet, not Scarlet and Violet, in BDSP. And basically I got ganged up on and was only allowed to walk one step every couple of minutes, basically, and I couldn't ride my bike or anything. Just, hey, you're just... calm down. You're not even that, like, riled up or anything. Just calm down and stand here for a few minutes. That was interesting. Constantly looking for new and better rewards, though, too. If there are any suggestions, please shoot them my way. I keep hitting the button and not wanting to hit the button. And... bad. Yes, this is Deltarune. Yeah, no, this is, shoot, that one. This is John Deltarune right here. You can tell by the way he's jumping. Not me. this is the basic gameplay loop, is shoot money at rats and birds, sell the stuff every once in a while, heal yourself up, and then do it all over again. I won't say it's very entertaining, but it's... I'm gonna have to do it anyway for the team I'm trying to put together, so I might as well, you know, share in the misery, I guess. Smith was level 18 when I caught it. It's gained 10 levels just from growing stuff in birds. It legitimately might end up the strongest member of my party by the time all said and done. Just wild to think about. So it only needs like 2 or 3 levels in the first place to get that far. 2 or 3 levels from now, not from when I started. Ooh, rare candy. That will be helpful. Not getting many of those, but how's everyone doing? Was it a good Tuesday? Is it today? Tuesday? Not Tuesday, not that matters too much, but... $135 is $135. Okay is better than bad. I saw that, yeah. He's going to Denver. And I'm sure he'll do fine. It's not like groundbreaking or anything, I think. Especially given the shape Miami is in right now. But we'll see. Yeah, and given that it's the middle of March, now's really not the time to be making big, sweeping football statements and expecting you to have to be taken seriously. Baseball, though, absolutely. Ooh, salmon hamburgers. Very nice. How were they? It's not a far-fetched, nor am I looking for one. GM10. If I wanted a far-fetched, I'd just go and trade for Chidek. I don't care what kind of power it is and how hidden it is. I'm just gonna sell it. The hidden power is it's cash. Words are difficult. I'm more interested, again, I'm just more interested in it as I'm selling it than as an actual move. Not to say that hidden pop is useless or anything, but I really find a niche for it at all. Whatever team I'm building, much less the specific one. Yeah, Stadium 2 is also a different story just because of side game as opposed to quote-unquote mainline. I do not really... I haven't played Stadium 2, I don't really know how the game works with that, but... I just had a use for it. Yeah, no, that's fair. I see this is... There. That should be a little better. Technology is fun. I'm gonna forget that it's zoomed in a little bit, and then next time I play like Last of Us or something, it's gonna be a little too zoomed in. Try going back to round 2 again. Or round 1 to round 2 again, just to beat up on the smaller Pokemon. We'll go faster, but 1 or 2 most of the time. Once I run enough PvP for everything, I'll try that. It's only a 10% chance to pick up an item, but even still, rolling 6 times, I feel like it should happen more often than it does. because I forgot to do that at the very beginning. God, no, I thought I did that when I was... I thought I did that already, too. Which does not help anybody. No wonder it's taking so long. And not the, 1% chance of the selling items I want. Vagabond, you're a gem. I don't know what I'd do without you. This would take a lot longer if you weren't here. That's for sure. Hi, how are you doing? Welcome to the stream. I'm just throwing coins at shrews and rats. This is what I've decided to do with my pen. Because I don't ever move my moves around. The text speed is, I think, is better for, the speeding up of everything, but no, it's still a good move. I forget that I can do that, to be honest. I don't ever do it enough, and then, you forget. And it's been 20 hours of game, and it's been fine. Fuck. I've got to stop picking my controller up like that. Put it down. That happens like every 10 minutes where you accidentally hit the LR button and the menu pops up. I don't need it. I don't need the menu most of the time. Now that's going to keep happening where I forget that I moved it to the first slot, go to the other move, and then go back because I forget. That you're right. Also changes up to be pause. Which... Oh, and it does... Oh, that might... But... We'll deal with it. So left on the D-pad is select. Up on the D-pad is start. Left and down don't do anything. It's another 1%. Some berry. Kinda does look like a beehive. And that feels like something that Vesperclub would do, is like have beehives that over something and it would... Sorry, I lost my train of thought. I'm not an evolving Meowth. That's... Well... No, I'm gonna wait. What was I saying? Vesperclub... Throwing a beehive sounds like a move that Vesperclub would have. It would send out, like, Combi or something. L equals I is how I used to play with my analog pocket. One hand on the trumpet. That's not a bad idea. I feel like if I were to play with my Switch on the treadmill or something, not that they're the same size or anything, I feel like I'd get distracted too easily and just focus on the game instead of wanting to slow down and keep playing. I mean, Substitute, you're just sending the doll out in the field, and it's sitting there to take attacks for you. Whereas in the scenario that I've now made up, that I'm describing, it's, you know, Vespin literally, you know, taking a beehive in his hand and throwing it at, say, a rat in his face, and having like, the Kobe all swarm out and stuff. Bug bomb, yeah, exactly. It's basically a beehive-shaped bug bomb. I said I was gonna go back to Route 2, or Route 1. I was gonna be cut for that. But I can just grab something from the PC. The Doduo that I have in the daycare is gonna be hella swole by the end of all this. That felt incredibly uncomfortable saying hella swole, I'm sorry. But also, it's true. Actually, well, since I'm going that way anyway, I'm gonna see what level it's at. I think I put it in at 18. Okay, so it's 23 now. Still a ways to go, but I mean, better leave it in there than leave it to rot or whatever. I could fly back too, but I also don't. The Doduo was my flyer. I don't want to take it out to not bring it back in. It really did, yeah. Keep trying to buy repels, it's not working. Super fun. I'm gonna start with the regular ones. Diglett Tunnel is about as long as I remember, but no, the underground paths are much shorter. Nope. Hands are moving too quickly for the brain. Oh, this is Viridian Forest. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna go to Pewter instead. Muscle memory is failing me. Basically, I have to use the control stick with L equals I, and I'm not consistent enough with using one or the other. it's gonna... It has caused problems that I expect it will in the future soon. Let's do this up here, closer to Peter that way. If you can get the old Amber with but no, I do that. Yupia. Excellent. We need to pick back. How many coins do I have on me, actually, too? That's another question. So I bought 500 and picked a bunch up, and then lost like 100 or something trying to gamble. 472. This 472 is... minus 5... plus 1... 14,128. I tried doing the timing thing and it didn't work. I didn't get it in the 5 minutes that I tried, and so I gave up. I feel like the money's gonna be faster than me learning the timing. Plus, you know, the Dodo gets experience. I have the opportunity to run into a shiny, not that it's going to happen. You know, there are other reasons then. You know, that sort of thing. Yay, the old Amber. I'll finally be able to get Aerodactyl. Now that I have access to Cinnabar. I don't have access to Cinnabar yet. I couldn't think of something actually funny in the 2 seconds. I had to think. Once I get to Cinnabar, though. Not that I'm going to use either, but... Yeah! For the sake of I don't want my planes to be ruined again, I kind of don't want to get a shiny, but you know, nobody knows. Oh. I used an Aerodactyl in Y my first time playing that game, and it was good. It was very good. I haven't used it before or since, but you know, it's not a bad idea at all. Part of so I don't put enough thought into team building. I'll be absolutely upfront about that. It's just, but in the limited aspect that I do put into it, how soon I can get the Pokemon is a factor in how I go about the team, go about building it, and you know, I could in theory. I need to go through, like, Self and all that, too. No, hold on. Whose badge lets Surf have it? Rox is Flash, Misty's is Cut, Surge is Fly. Is it Fuchsia? Yeah, it's... okay. So I would still need another badge to get to Cinnabar. And that's honestly still earlier than I was thinking. So that's after 4 badges, but when I was doing the quote-unquote planning for team building, it just felt... Cinnabar felt late to be getting a new team member. So, you know, I normally would go there for the first time for Bill and the 7th badge. The 6th, 7th badge, so... Yeah, I was considering Lapras as the water type team member for the longest time, but I still could use Lapras. No, I'm gonna teach Starmie Ice Beam. I'm already trying to not have... Yeah, already trying to not necessarily have stat coverage for everything, and just have the moves. It's like, okay, where's the image? You can download it. That I'm trying to build towards. There it is. So the only 2 movesets that I have that are final are Nidoking and Starmie on this picture. Where Nidoking is the 8-time slave, and Starmie's gonna have a lot of coverage. But, you know, there's... One day I will learn to be confident in my decisions, but keep building is nice. One day I'll be able to learn to speak and have coherent thoughts without stumbling over my words, too. What am I trying to say? I'm trying to expand my horizons a little bit, and this is one of the ways I'm trying to... Yeah, I've learned that. You're right. I can't say I follow competitive too much in any aspect, really. Aside from watching false swipe gaming every so often. But it's certainly something fun to follow. So I do not claim to know anything. Really, anything outside of Incineroar is apparently good. If Wolf can win a bunch with it. 2 nuggets there. That's really good. The Hoenn openings, though, are wonderful, and I will sneak their praises very much. Yeah, no, I will be Googling Jimothy Poole later. I do not know who that is, and you could put any 2 names together and I wouldn't know who these people are. kind of stopped watching False Fight because somebody takes up being bad. Yeah, and that the Luxray being a dark type is, and I see why people say it, but you know, it's fine as it is. It doesn't need to change. Yeah, I don't know who Piptide is either. I don't follow it that much. Blissfully unaware. Dimple's the wolf. Oh, okay. Nice. Yeah, happens far too often, unfortunately. Okay, I'm gonna set a timer for 5 minutes because that's what the in-game that's what the redeem is. But I swear to God, if I find one in the 5 minutes, timer starts in 3, 2, 1. I don't know where to display it on screen, so you're just gonna have to hopefully overhear my phone timer. You're the mic. I'm very appreciative of how you spend your money here. You know, I don't really know. Normally it's not... Normally when it comes up, it's not something this random, though. So... If you have a punishment in mind... No, actually, okay, no. Here's what I'm gonna do. If I happen to find one in the next 4.5 minutes now... Yeah, it's clip farming. Exactly. If I find one in the next 4 minutes now, I will release it. What am I gonna do with it? I don't need a Pidgey, or a Weedle, or... Well, actually, I don't have a Rattata at home yet, but... I don't have a need for most of these, I'll just release it. I don't need it. No, I'll have someone hack into the game, force punishment into the game onto one of these random Pidgeys, use a random item on my Meowth, and have them use it on the Meowth. That's what's gonna happen. Rossberry, Petraberry, I love Fear. I don't use it often enough, but it's so good. What would I use my secret ID for in casual play? Like, I don't plan on doing anything with Ace. So I mean, there's not like a lottery that I can use, right? Is there a lottery in Celadon? I don't remember. No, okay, that's what I thought. What about Darantata where it tells you not to do drugs? You see, that already happened in middle school, when the cops said not to do drugs. We already had Dare with rats. Is RNG manipulation someone who's bad at video games can like, do fairly easily? Because I can't even do the slots right. I mean, Gross and Kangaskhan are two of the tougher ones to find as far as some of the first place, much less catch. I wish you luck on your quest. And that it may be Swift. Alright, fair enough. Not the compliment I was Wasn't even farming for a compliment, much less that one specifically, but fair enough. To manage my mobile dashboard from my phone. Thank you, though. Ooh, another rare candy. And a chest out. I'm sure you're still typing out what you're going to say, but sending you apostrophe is something I absolutely do 150% of the time, and I hate when that happens. Like, I did that earlier when I was replying to someone saying jokes on you. I already do so and so. I taped joke, I just sent it on I hit the edit button on accident. Just accidentally replied to someone saying joke. I feel really bad. I sent something immediately about it. God, I can't type, and then what I meant to say initially, but the ability to not press enter when you don't mean to is entirely underrated. Oh, that's the timer. Hopefully that picked up. Thank you for your redeeming me not to find a shiny. I did not find a shiny. Escaped punishment this time. Hooray. I say I VPN someone sent VPN a few hours ago. Yeah. It's the worst. Achievements will be interesting. Curious what they're gonna do with it, or yeah, what they're gonna do with it, basically. If it's gonna be like basically an official showdown, or if they're gonna have some sort of quote-unquote story to it. Also, I can never remember if it's going to be free or not, or if it's going to be a paid thing. Because I keep expecting it to be a paid piece of software. Showdown with the Battle Pass would make sense, actually. That's a good point. That I think would make the most sense. Like, not like Unite, but following the same free but microtransaction. What would they give out as rewards for a Battle Pass, though? Oh yeah, no, for sure, it'll be, even if just for the older gens, and being free and all that, it's just, if there's them releasing this more so for, we want to use, the Pokemon company saying we want to use this for official tournaments and stuff. Like they would just use the the full game, whatever they're playing. I love when technology acts like a butt. It happens to me all the time, and it's the best thing in the world. It's almost as if you're watching someone with an interesting relationship with his lifestyle. Yeah. And I kind of would like to play Showdown more, but there's I don't know anything about putting anything together. And I think the last quote-unquote competitive team I put together for Showdown was basically throw out a Geomancy White Herb Xerneas, hope for the best, and then try to set up with a Volcarona afterwards. Much there. And then before that was, like, making, like, you know, a gym leader team or a champion team to just fight against other people on stream or something. Oh, it has to. Yeah, Steven Stone's good. Very good. See, it's not as if I'm. The point of my story being, it's not as if I really use it for anything serious. What is my ladder score? I don't know. Do I have an ELO? Not in the way that matters. No, that's fair. That Xerneas, the Xerneas team was Gen 7 anything goes, because that's the only way that it would make sense. You know, I definitely have an interest in learning, I just haven't gotten around to it yet. The thing with specifically using a meta team is I find myself more often using following, I think it was Karen's Karen's text from the games where she's like, you should play with your favorites and not necessarily the strongest, and competitive doesn't quite fit that. And that's fine, but it's just, I want to play with my favorites too. Yeah, Xerneas is used a lot in ZA Online, for sure, when it's allowed. Sandstorm had its place in competitive, from what I remember. It was. No, that's fair. With the insane team split. I'm still at the point where I don't know the rules yet, and therefore cannot break them without, you know, knowing them first. Yes, it is me, famous poker man. Because I'm, you know, this is the male character and everything. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. No, this is him. This is the poker man. There are many serious trainers here. Alright, listen! Listen! I don't know the type chart, you can leave me alone. I'm assuming Stealth Rock is still somewhat featured in the meta, but probably more so in, like, Scarlet Battle than ZA. I feel like Stealth Rock is just kind of worse in ZA because of how you can move around enough in these space as opposed to just go turn by turn. And, you know, Boots is fair. do Stealth Rock and, like, Spikes and stuff hit both in doubles, or is it just... It seems like a stupid question now. Of course it would hit both, but, like, you never know. See, it seems like they would hit both in doubles. Why would it only hit one? But, like, Game Freak makes decisions all the time. Not to say that it's, like, useful for doubles, but, like... No, that's fair. Yeah, okay. Hits everything, but hard to fit in, given the relatives. Oh, right, you weren't here when I started catching everything, that's right. Yeah, okay, so... Let's switching up. Well, not necessarily looking for a shiny, so... All of these Meowth have pickup. And there's a 5% chance... There's a 10% chance they pick anything up after battle with pickup. And then beyond that, there's a 5% chance of them getting an item with a high sell price. So the goal is, I'm going to buy coins from the casino. I need roughly $250,000 to do that right now. That's undercutting it a little bit. And I have $150,000. So by basically getting 6 Meowth with pickup and using Payday over and over on a bunch of weak Pokemon, I can grind money with Payday chip by chip, and then sell nuggets and PP ups and the TMs that I get for a small bit of cash and get money that way to be able to buy the stuff instead of doing the slots, because I'm bad at the slots. So yes, it is true that I am technically looking for a shiny, but not a shiny Pokemon. If one happens to show up, oh no, then, you know, I won't complain or anything. But, you know, also by running around, I have a Pokemon at the daycare, they're getting some experience out of it. I'm very glad that Scarlet and Violet brought back, or had the double battles and ended up doing what they did. I wanted there to be more of them, but, you know, I'm glad they exist at all. I mean, I could do a Meowth-only team, but it would, you know, take a little bit to get up there. Just, you know, they're only available after, like, 3 champs that I have to use. I can use a team of 6 Mankey once I get there, and then upgrade the Meowth. Quote-unquote upgrade. There only being one double battle in the escape is a crime. I need to play the GameCube Pokemon games. My first Nintendo console was a Wii, and I never had like GameCube Pokemon games to play on it. I also don't think he knew they existed until much later, which wouldn't help. But I think I'd have a tab with them. No nugget. Nice. I think when we got our Wii as a child, I think we got it with Wii Sports because everybody got Wii Sports. So that was the only game we had for like 2 or 3 months, and then not even 2 or 3 months. Hold on, because we got the Wii, and then I got Mario Kart Wii as a birthday gift. Well, we had Wii Fit too, actually. No, it wasn't the only game we had, but the games we did have for the longest time were not what you go to a Wii for necessarily. Not every model of Wii has the GameCube ports, to be fair. So yeah, after a certain point, they stopped including them. Umbreon Ringus. I would like to hear more about Umbreon Ringus at a new level for sure. I also didn't have any of the cables to trade with, or the wireless adapter. So even if I had a GameCube and all this stuff, and I was missing every piece of the puzzle, not just one. At the time, I had people in person I could possibly trade with too. Not that we did, but that's fair. Strong but one note is, unfortunately, a lot of Pokemon that there is. Oh, that's fair. One of my favorite memories from elementary school was okay. I love bots and the money to sell viewers. If you shouldn't advertise to people without any money to buy it. Anyway, what was I saying? One of my fondest memories in elementary school was we went on one of our field trips was basically to an old colonial town in the state, and the bus drive was like, I don't know, probably 2-3 hours. It was a long enough day where, you leave at like 7 in the morning and get back at 8 or 9 at night. So you can make a day trip of it, but it's a long day. And we basically, the entire bus basically spent our entire time on the bus, so, 2-3 hour ride. Just playing in PictoChat and trading Pokemon, and it was... the vibes were off the chart that day. Revolution was wild. That was a game that we rented from Gamefly, I think? So I had it for a couple months at that, if that, at most, and hit a wall because I could put new Pokemon into it, and then never played it again. Pokemon is... honestly, that's my favorite thing about... one of my favorite things about Pokemon is just how much connectedness there is over it, even if it's just correcting pronunciation. In my first Pokemon card, speaking of elementary school, my first Pokemon card was a bunch of people had brought in their cards and were, showing off and trading with each other, and I didn't have any. And this one kid in my class who I wasn't really good friends with, he wasn't like a bully or anything, he just didn't always get along and weren't close. He's like, here, you can have this Omanyte. Out of the kindness of his heart. So he didn't have anything. And it was special. I still have it. If I can find it upstairs next time I stream, I'll show it off. It's just... I love stuff like that. The power of science is amazing. He spread the good word a good 10 years before the good word was around to be spread. He was the one true prophet. Oh, man. Kids these days will never know what it's like to pull up with a DSi and hit it with a rainbow. You're so right. The only time I played Mario Kart DS, outside of the... well, no. The majority of my time spent playing Mario Kart DS was... I never had it. Wii was my first Mario Kart game. I did buy it and then sell it a few months later because I wasn't playing it. But most of my time with Mario Kart DS was at a friend's house with DS Download Play, and that's basically where I used DS Download Play at all. If I had a legitimate way to talk to some of these people again, it's been hold on, 17 years since I've talked to most of these people because we moved and social media wasn't a thing and cell phones weren't for 10-year-olds. I would love to talk to some of these people again. Let's see what they're up to. I didn't play Mario Kart DS the last day of Sound Parade. We had a kickball tournament at school, which was fun, but also they don't have, well, no, actually no, it's even funnier. I'm friends with their parents, some of these people's parents on Facebook. Not that any of them post anything or that I have the nerve to talk to my friends' moms, but it's 2026. How old am I? I turned 27. Which means the youngest of these people would be 25. So I could look again, but I don't really want to use Facebook. And that's been true for a couple years at least. Okay, but getting good with their moms. You're right. But I did that in person as a kid. You know, I was, you know, the good kid, the quiet kid, and I wasn't like an asshole to people. It's like, not to say that's getting in good with their moms, but like, I feel like I was liked enough as a child to not. I don't know where I'm going with this. I don't know, and I don't want to answer that question. I feel bad hitting up parents of people I haven't talked to in 15, 20 years. How would I even start that conversation? Hello, I was a friend of your child's 20 years ago. They are their own adult now and don't live with you. What's up? They're all still married. As far as I'm aware. No, okay, no, the parents that I'm Facebook friends with are still married. I want to say I heard that some of the other parents did not last in their relationships. Which, you know, I also... That's the only talking point I have is, hey, it's been 20 years. I was friends with your child. Your relationship did not last. I'm so sorry to hear. How's life been treating you and your other children? Like, I'm not going to claim to be, like, the most gifted conversationalist out there, but that seems like a bad way to start a conversation. Free real estate. Yes, then so I would describe myself as socially awkward. You're right. Yeah, I'm definitely still quote-unquote closer with people from like high school and college. I include college, but I've only had like 3 friends, and I don't talk to one of them anymore, intentionally. But a social media friendship is basically the closest I am to most people, outside of the Discord right now. You know, again, when I feel so. Part of my problem is going back to imagine not just hitting up random people in the day. Sure, but I feel like I need to have something to talk about first, as opposed to just randomly saying, "Hey, what's up?" Because it's been you know 5. 10, God, I graduated high school 10 years ago. It's been that long since I've talked to these people. You see that reads booty call a little bit, and I don't know where these people are, and I'm not interested in booty call, so it's easy until you create a confident persona. Fake it till you make it and all that. Except I don't have a confident persona, and I don't know how to fake it. Do you like Geronimo Stilton and blue cheese? And I'm sure you meant hummus, but it's spelled humus, and I don't know what humus is. I'm trying my book club and start. Yeah, So what are everyone's book recommendations? This is how I'm gonna do it. Funnily enough, you say they're the stinkiest cheeses, and I actually do love stinky cheese. It's good. And the last time I did that, basically say, "Yo, what's up? It's been a while." It came to mind. I wanted to say hi. That's basically not with the "Yo, what's up" in all caps, but that's basically what it is. Hey, I didn't say, "Hey, a friend told me to talk to you." It's like, "Hey, you've been on my mind," and our conversation's been off and on, but considered. Jesus Christ. You considered asking the moms about their car's extended warranty. They actually have not. No. That's a surefire way to start and end the conversation right there. I don't want to talk about my own car's extended warranty. What? Much less somebody else's. You know, that's I should steal their car. That's an idea. I'm not going to. But that's a conversation starter, right? Hey, I have your car. Please talk to me. So Dan Kip one day, they saw this girl about the same album I did and choose an author of 2 bucks who would know it. Nice. You gotta read the book about reading. It's quite... I'm sure there are gonna be a dozen books about reading. So, which one do you mean specifically? TMK's 20... More hidden powers. I mean... You say intro to phonics. Like, I took Spanish and French classes. I got that a little bit already. Oh, yeah, Berry Pouch is very... It's getting there. 12 cherries, 11 chestos, 21 pechos, 20 rosts, 14 aspirs, 16 orange, 6 prisms, a citrus, a raz, a nanab, 2 spellons, a pamtree, 2 watnel, 4 durin, and a baloo. That is the joy of having meowths that basically only give me berries. Okay, if I'm starting a book club with my childhood friends' moms, I don't think starting with Pokemon manga would be a good place to start. That's, you know, if they were the people themselves, then yeah, for sure. Assuming they're still as invested in the series as I am. Yes, Toxic Yuri manga. That's for sure going to get the book club off in a perfect note. You see, I have the problem with saying, hey, yo, join my book club, we're reading X book, is I'd rather we read a book that everyone would be interested in reading. And to kind of find that out, I guess you could start with, hi, what books do you like to read? It seems a little too forward, but just if you get the message out of the blue, hi, it's your childhood friend's, your son's childhood friend. It's been 20 years, what books do you like? I don't know, it feels like it's just been too long to have that start the conversation out. I don't know. You know, a lot of the times I have the problem of getting ahead of myself and overthinking the ahead of myself bit. There are 2 steps to where I want to go, and overthinking this second step is that. The Big Bang novelization. Oh, you know, I'd read the Big Bang novelization. Assuming you mean the science Big Bang and not the sex one. Well, a little less interested in the sex. So, what my best friend in elementary school is from the networks. Okay, that's... How much of that is a niche case, though? Like, I'm... Good for them. I'm glad they're doing something that I'm hoping they enjoy. But also, that's probably not universal. Still sounds like a movie. You know, yeah, no, ranking... So if I'm gonna rank the Science Big Bang, the Big Bang Theory television show, not including the spin-offs in Young Sheldon and Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage, and the sex Big Bang, I think that's actually my order, is Science, Sheldon, sex. The 3 S's of history. Science, Sheldon, and sex. That's what the show is about! No! Oh no! Oh my god. Christ. What's happening? Alright, yeah. Yeah. The fuck Mary Kill of the universe. You're right. It is still the 17th. That's the one, right? Yeah, okay. not seen that one, unfortunately. I still have a long... I know I've said this before recently, and it still rings true. I keep it fine. Well, I have... Whenever we did that anime brainstorming a while back, I had like... I feel like I had 3 or 4 different post-it notes of animes you need to watch. I only have 2 of them left, but I have watched 2 of them. That are on the rest of the post-it notes that I've kept. Those being the ones I watched being Freerin and Delicious and Dungeon. The first season of Freerin specifically, because that's the only one that was out at the time. There is so much, and specifically anime is also true, but there is so much entertainment in the universe to experience, and there are not enough hours in the day to experience them all. I could do that. That's a little bit down. I can go down a lot further too. And I also just got up and moved away from my mic for a minute, so that probably didn't help with the volume balancing and all of it. Yeah, no, that's fair. That is the blessing and the curse of having too much stuff is it's so easy to burn yourself out. No, that's why I like games like Minecraft and, you know, endless games basically, or where the end game is, or the game is so long in and of itself that you can play it for however long. Like Borderlands is like that, where it's not like an endless game, but the end game is incredibly long, where you're having to grind for hundreds of hours, so you can, you know, go back and forth between whatever when you burn out on the first thing. You know, go do your 2-week Minecraft phase, and then go back to grinding for this one shield that will not show up. Then go back to Minecraft again, and then play the other Borderlands game. You know, Pokémon specifically, you know, with 30, not even 30, but it's probably more than that at this point, you know, it's just with how long Pokemon has been running, it's a huge investment of time. I don't know as much about how long Naruto's run for in any of its forms, but no, it's long and easy to get burnt out on. Weed has one. Orange berry. I think I forgot to sell last time I healed, so I need to. I think I have a couple nuggets and stuff to sell. Jesus, wow, that's longer than I thought. And if it's making money, no reason to shut it down or anything, but still long. Watched everything up until Horizons Episode 1 beat 1,233 episodes. That's so many. That's okay. So it's 20-minute episodes. A third of an hour. A third of 12:33 is 408 hours of just the show, and not including like the ads and stuff and the time in between episodes and all that. No, that's true. So you're at about 400 hours, plus or minus, with the movies and the stuff that get released in Japan and all that, which isn't a short amount of time. Yeah, not counting the 20 movies, which add another 90 minutes times 20, 1.5 times 20, 30 hours. Yeah, Porygon and Dratini didn't make it out. I think there were a couple others that I'm not thinking of off the top of my head. That didn't. I mean, adding in the movies still adds a significant amount of time, more than any non-Japan episodes would take away. Do we have any no hidden powers to sell? 2 nuggets. 2 PP ups. It's $20,000. Yeah, and at that point, I feel like those wouldn't really count anyway towards. Like, if you're saying it's a, it depends on how you define it, I guess, and all that. Where, if you count flashback clip episodes as their own episode, then yeah, they count. But like. They don't really count. Like, not to, I don't know how to say this properly. Avatar: The Last Airbender good. Even the Ember Island players had like character development and all that. Like, I'd count the Ember Island players as a full episode, but I wouldn't count like whatever clip flashback thing they did in Korra as, like, if I'm saying, oh, watch the whole thing except for one episode, I'd say, yeah, it's probably the clip episode to not watch. Oh yeah, Power Rangers. I always saw the ads for the commercials for the dinosaur ones, and then I never actually watched it. Dinosaurs are cool. Was not as interested in the Power Rangers myself. I actually think I've seen more Kamen Rider than Power Rangers at this point, just because a friend of mine is really into Kamen Rider, and they've not forced me to watch it, but some of the hanging out we've done has been, and has ended up being watching Kamen Rider. Yeah, that's where that quote came from. Was one of the episodes. I'm not going to spoil it, but oh yeah, I forgot that Dinosaur King got an anime. I have the. I'm going to say the Dinosaur King DS game, assuming there's only one, but I may be wrong about that. But I have the Dinosaur King DS game, and I have to finish it still. It's been so long. It's even more rock, paper, scissors than Pokemon is, and yet I still lose often enough to kinda not. Yeah, so I remember there was like, in like arcades in the mid to late 2000s, probably earlier too, but wasn't as aware of those. There were, like, the card game, arcade games, where, you know, you would go up to it and you'd get a card, and if you kept your cards, you'd be able to use them on other kiosks and stuff. And like those existed in the States a little bit. And I'm sure Japan probably has more. Spider Deadpool. I definitely get those two mixed up. No, I was thinking of that. Maybe it was Fossil Fighters. Hold on. No, it was Dinosaur. It was definitely Dinosaur. Never mind. No, I have the game. I should have the game right here. I can just look. Definitely Dinosaur Type. Fossil Fighters is certainly on the list, but the list big too. Oh, really? Dang. Did not know that. Neat. Reminds me of... So my parents were... I don't think my dad was enjoying it that much. They're watching through... They were watching through, Victoria recently. Is about Queen Victoria. And... So... When she was... you know, my mom was explaining all this to me, and I was looking it up, and then I saw, oh, Jenna Coleman plays Queen Victoria. And... that was... I basically only know that she did Doctor Who and Xenoblade, so that was a surprise. I was kind of reminded of that one, seeing Veronica Naylor. So I did watch an episode with them at one point, and all I could hear was, yeah, that's Melia Xenoblade. What is Melia Xenoblade doing in Queen Victoria time? When I have funds to do things, not that it's high on the list, but getting more dinosaur stuff is certainly on the list. Dinosaurs are cool. That was like the... So, you know, every child has their phases as a child where they're really into it. And I had a bit of a truck phase. Yeah, Terrantra was cool. So Jurassic Park is a thing. So I saw the first Jurassic Park, and I've seen the first two Jurassic World ones. The first Jurassic Park was good. The first Jurassic World was almost as good. And the second Jurassic World was fine. So I don't know if I'd say I'm a Jurassic Park fan, but yes, I've seen a couple of the movies and they were good enough. I was gonna say, yeah, I do think Tyrantrum is cool, and they were the fossil I took the first time through, but I feel like this is also indicative of just the general shift in what dinosaurs that I like since being 5 years old. I like a more, I think. A more pretty, and also Brontosaur, Brachiosaur type. So at least, I'm going to say design-wise, even though, you know, it's biology and all that, but quote-unquote design-wise, I feel like there's a lot more... There's a lot more diversity amongst the popular herbivores than amongst the popular carnivores. That's what ends up happening with the carnivores is, you know, they look like... They all look like a T-Rex, basically, except for... like Spinosaurus, which has the fin on its back, and even then, it's just the fin that's sticking out and not really much of anything else. Versus, you know, with, like, you know, Stegosaurus has the fans on its back, the plates on its back, and the tail spikes, and Ankylosaurus has the armor and the tail club, and you know, Brachiosaurus, Brontosaurus, they all have the long necks and all that. Triceratops has the skull armor and the horns on the front. I'm trying to move left, and it's not accepting me left, it's just here and down. Whereas, like, you know, again, the carnivores are, everything's a T-Rex, just smaller and or skinnier, if T-Rex was the biggest one. I have two key dinosaurs that I was about to talk about at the same time. The Pachycephalosaurus with the, you know, the skull, the thick skull. The Parasaurolophus with the head horn thing in the back. And even they still, you know, still look like the carnivores a bit. Mainly the Parasaur, but it's still, it's different enough to be unique, at least. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk about dinosaurs and what they look like. Well, the Ankylosaurus did have spikes, but they were more like on its side than on the back. Well, okay, yeah, no, they had like ridges, I guess. But like, hold on. You know, I'm also going off of, you know, memories of 20-year-old information that is, you know, now outdated, but... Yeah, like, this is from 1964, that's not exactly the most recent accurate information, but... You know, when I stole this from Wikipedia. You know, this is the Ankylosaurus here in the front, and you know it has the spikes on the side, whereas a Stegosaurus would have it on the tail, sort of thing. You know, I don't know what point to make with that. It's just dinosaur school. Some of these guys are different enough to be. The herbivores feel more diverse than the carnivores that I'm aware of at the time. Now that I'm reading it a second time, I'm not entirely sure what any dinosaur that has the spikes on its back, the Ankylosaurus, means. But so long as you get an excuse to talk about something. Dinosaurs are cool, but I don't. I kind of wish they were still around, but also, you know, we have birds now, and birds are assholes enough. You hear that, Pidgey? You're an asshole enough. We got a lot of cool bird diversity too right now, and there's a trade I don't know if I'd immediately make. It depends on the trade-off, I guess. Like, if we got rid of Canadian geese in exchange for domesticated Parasaur, like, that's a trade I would make, but if we had to trade pigeons for Tyrannosaurus that are ready to eat the human population right now, nah, I'm not doing that. $183,000 still. And I'm at 187. Okay. $100,000 to go. You too can contribute by going to twitch.tv/LetsPlayBaseballCurse and subscribing or cheering bits or using the donate button. Shameless plug. I'm running out of stuff to talk about. This isn't exactly the most stimulating thing in the world. That'll help. That's a nugget. It's 2% of what's left. well, it's since the EXP boat really started to drop a little bit, but it's also, it's not just because, you know, it's Meowth is level 28 now, but also because I'm fighting level 4 Pokemon as opposed to level 8 to 12. Once I'm done with this payday session, I'm gonna go look and see what levels the rest of my team is. So I want to say 29 is my strongest Pokemon now. So Mankey is 28, or Primeape is. I think Ivysaur is either 28 or 29. Unless Doduo really shut up there, then it's probably still around 25 or so. Do not remember what Nidorino is. And Dugtrio is there. Don't recall. How many do I have left? I could just go look now, to be honest. One. Yeah, I'll do this and then. $145. It's not nothing, but it's still unfortunately a pitiful amount. It's the only downside to... Not the only downside. One of the downsides to using Payday is the most you can get out of a single use is $500, and that's well beyond my Pokemon speeds at this point. I don't... God, imagine getting this Meowth all the way up to level 100. I don't want to think about that. It's another $10,000. The monies are coming along. I have $198,243, which means I'm using a calculator, I don't want to do the math. I need $85,000 more. And in theory, I could get a fair bit of stuff done right now if I wanted to. And this is also assuming I did the math right. So I need 14,600 coins for everything. 4, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, 14,600. I have just less than 500 already. Which means I would need 14,100, basically. Let's round up 14,200. Just to... because I can't get it a set amount. So 14,200, and the math rounds out to it's $20 a coin. 14 times 20, 284. Okay, this is an extra $1,000. 284 total minus the 200 I have in odds. Yeah, 85,000 bucks. Divided by. You have to use payday 560 more times, basically. If I don't get anything else to sell. And it's better off than where I was when I started. I could also, you know, be going around fighting trainers and stuff for the experience, but I want that experience for Dratini too. So, in short, probably not something that I'm going to finish tonight, but the fact that within the past 24 hours, I've cut out probably $100,000 worth of grinding already, both by whittling the number down for stuff I don't actually need from the shop and from grinding. This is good. Progress is good. Another 5,000 right there. Now that I've been doing it for a fair bit of time, it feels like the numbers are starting to work out how they're supposed to, where it's, you know, getting a nugget, an PP up, that's something about as often as I'd expect, but especially at the start, it was not working out that way. Like, I was getting as many rare berries as I was HP ups and nuggets combined, despite the HP ups and nuggets being twice as common, 5 times as common. Or how would the math work on that, actually? 1 in 5 times 1 in 100 times 1 in 10. 1 in 500 times 1 in 10. It's basically I think, so the way it works out, I think any individual berry, rare berry, is 1 in 5,000. And then any of the 0.5% times divided by 2. It's like 0.125% chance of getting either the nugget or the HP up. You know, it actually is more likely that I get any individual rare berry as I get the nugget or the HP up, if I did the math right. You know, it's just by like 0.075%. But technically more likely to get the berry. Then to get the other items. And then, of course, it's more than likely that any item I get is a regular random berry. There's PP up. So now to 4,900. I'm not sure what the overlap of the EVs these Pokemon give out is, but if there's enough diversity, then I'm sure Meowth's gotta be maxed out by now. Like, there's no way of not beating enough Pidgey to... I've definitely maxed out whatever stat these Pokemon get, if not all of the effort values entirely. I'd also start selling berries to make up that difference faster. I don't use berries often enough to really care about most of them. Like, I'll throw a citrus berry on or a lepa berry if I need that, but beyond that I don't use them too much. Not that they're worth anything. Even the rare ones only sell for $10. But you know, $10 is $10 no matter what your contributing is. Didn't mean to do that. It's a person berry, that's fine. What did you get? Another person berry. What I think I'm gonna do, once I'm gonna heal up now that I'm out of BP. I'm going to sell this stuff. And I'm going to go back and start unloading my money into coins, just to break up the monotony a little bit. Made an immense amount of progress, and I'm very happy with how things have gone so far. But also, that is not to say it's not mind-numbingly boring, and I gotta do something different to not fall asleep. $75,000. And I can also check on April. Don't do that. materials. Hey, let's just, now start doing stuff back here again. High enough level where I shouldn't have too much trouble one-shotting stuff. How are you doing? 7. Alright. They're 25. Thanks. Got to look at everybody else. Primape's 28, Melia's 29, Dugsha's 27. And Noah is 28. Yeah. Okay. Death is tied for strongest Pokemon. Should also save. I think it's been about 5 hours of grinding away at this point. Soon we'll be free. I've also been getting fewer and fewer TMs too. Actually, now that I think about it. I haven't had one for a long while. Up. I guess start outwards and go in. Start with Dratini, then get the items, and then... Do I need this bot in my party? I don't think I do. Oh, it's... Oh, I forgot about that. It's a male Dratini. I didn't think of a name for a male Dratini. I just saved. What I should do now is actually save outside of the... I should buy all this money, save outside of the Rocket guy. Not Rocket guy, outside of the Dratini lady, the counter person, the clerk, and then just reset until I get a female one. That would have been smarter and not wasted my time buying all this stuff. So I have to do it again. At least this one will go broke. Here. Like a Dratini. I can only press the buttons the right way. Yes, it's a male. What is the gender ratio on Dratini? I do not know. It is 50-50, so I've just lost the coin flip twice. How many times will I lose the coin flip? Twice in a row. Okay. What did I say? I said Jackman was going to be named May. Oh, good. I'm glad my resetting so I can get the right gender is heart attack worthy. Don't need any more Pokemon. I would like the Miracle Seed. And Mystic Water. So now I need 8,000 coins total for teams 13 and 24. That's Ice Beam, okay. Which means 8,000. Go and see how many I have left. Okay, I need 4372. What I should do is I should gamble those back down to 50. So it's 4350 is the number that I need to go back down to. So that's 650. So 3,650. Times 20. So we need $73,000 for all of the coins I need to buy. And I have 898 now. So 72,102 to go. That's not bad. I went and looked into the TMs like, wait, where did my TMs go? I just bought those, but no, did not buy those. I bought these items. That's a little scary. Anyway. I want to see... I'm not going to reset for a nature that I want, because I haven't done that at all. I want to see what Pokemon... Not what Pokemon, what, nature this Dratini has. Hardy nature. Which is neutral. Okay. It's plus attack minus attack. And Dratini, its stats. It is a physical attacker. If I had to pick a stat to decrease, I would have rather it have been HP. HP is its lowest stat. Or maybe physical defense. But... If it's an attack boosting one, neutral is not the worst it could have done. If I go to Dragonite, actually, let's see more about Dragonite stats is full. Yeah, no, it's definitely would have wanted an attack up, but as a Dragonite, speed is its lowest. Then HP, then defense. I think this is fine. I think a neutral nature is fine. It's certainly the best one I've found so far. Nature-wise. Which, it's really bad, given that it's my 5th team member. But, you know. It happens to the best of us. Yeah, I should be fighting level 19s with, you know, not because I can't do it, but because it's gonna take too long. Or, not that it's gonna take too long, it's that I'm not one-shotting him. And for the sake of getting nuggets and stuff, I should be one-shotting him. Which was already the problem with not having gone back the first time and all. Not going back to Route 2 or anything. But, with... now that Meowth's level 29, like, Jesus Christ. Should be good to come back up here and do it over here. So 72,000. Let's round up to 73. 73,000 is 70 divided by 5. 14. Okay, I need 15 total nuggets and HPOs, or PPOs. That does not factor in... There's a TM. Andrew, fuck yeah, that was a great Pokemon. Good job, Males. That doesn't factor in the, you know, $150 I'm gonna get every time I kill a Pokemon or use Payday, but... You know, that's... 5,000 divided by 150. So long as I get a nugget or HP up every 30 Pokemon or so, then that's on pace. Highest level Meowth. Or not even. Yeah, it was every 33 and a third that I needed to. That I need to get a nugget or a PPO, HP up, whichever one it is. So basically, as long as I get one every time I go back to heal, that should be enough. Until I have 10 or 15. I should probably... I never need to heal, but for the sake of, like, counting it properly, I should probably heal right now, but it's fine. Let's spend... Jesus, two and a half hours. I can say with more confidence, I do not think I'll be finding a shiny. Both today and during this extended trip of trying to grab all this money. Just because the rates are so low. Shiny is 1 and 8, 1, 9, 2. Which, you know, is comparable to... It's a little, slightly less of a chance that I find a shiny in one encounter than any one individual Meowth has of holding a specific rare berry. Which I'm getting 6 more rolls at the Meowths than I am at shinies, just by having 6 Meowths, so... Yeah, perfect. I don't even know what Shiny Spearow looks like, actually. I don't think I've ever seen one before. Feathers get lighter. Well, its wing is yellow as opposed to red. That's the main thing. But ooh, a rare keep God. My Pokemon are gonna be so fucking strong after this. I could straight up evolve my Ivysaur to a Venusaur at this point. Like, you can still have some candies left over. I think I have too many tabs open on my computer. Not that it's causing any performance issue, but just because it's... I keep looking at it, and it's getting overwhelming. So I have... Since redoing team building yesterday, I've added 9 tabs to my browser just to have, you know, each Pokemon up and their moveset, and the natures up, and how Payday works and everything. And then I always have probably 5 or 6 open on top of that. Just to... Like, for a while it was Fantasy Football, and right now one of them is... March Madness bracket. And one of us, you know, I always have a YouTube tab open, it's just that's the default that I have set. And then, I should close these, but for... When I was in that Animal Crossing phase, once 3.0 came out, I had a checklist open for that. I have a Mario Kart stats spreadsheet open that I'm still combing through for looking at part stats and all that. And then, that's my first window, is, you know, video game stuff, basically. Leisure time. And then there's the, you know, 10 to 15 tab browser window of, oh god, what am I going to do with my life stuff, where it's, you know, this is something I'm helping my mom with for her work. There's volunteering stuff, and these are a bunch of courses, and community college stuff, and job application websites, and oh my god, there's just too much stuff. I'm going to close some of these tabs eventually, but they're my emotional support tabs. 100. TM case. Hidden power. You'd heard me say that I wasn't getting an upper level. It's 12:40 in the morning. I'm going for 2.5 hours at this point. Okay. I'm gonna say 5 more encounters, just to see what happens. And then I'm going to call it. I'm getting tired. I was very surprised that Meowth. I can't even call the Pokemon the correct name anymore. Surprised that Rattata went first, and then took like 3 seconds to hit that it used Quick Attack. Priority moves are certainly moves of all time. It's 2. Nugget. Hell yeah. This should be 5. Alright. The prediction results are in. What the fuck no wins. Congratulations on your channel points. Or so sorry that you've lost your channel points. No shiny today. First 1%. No, it's not the first one, never mind. Oh. But I'm going to save the game there. I'm gonna stay out here. Okay. That is it for now. Leave with quotes and guess who that quote was about. Alright, hello. Hi, thank you for being here, watching, lurking, chatting, all of it. Not quite done yet with this grind, but, you know, I'll probably, hopefully come back tomorrow and get the rest of it out of the way. I'm almost done. These links that you see in the chat are where else you can find my content creation on the internet. That bottom link is where we're at right now, live, right here at this very second at 12:45 in the morning on March 18th, 2024. Twitch.tv/the Let's Play Baseballkers. That's where I make all of my income currently through subs and bits and donations. Financial commitment is never required, but it's, you know, always appreciative. It goes a long way towards A, just existing, and then B, what I can turn around and put back into the channel. So it's helpful, but again, never required. The link above that is the Discord. You'll get notified when I go live, when I release stuff onto the main YouTube channel, and you'll get to hear a lot of behind-the-scenes, anxious, rambling indecisiveness about what I want to do with content and the stuff with it and everything. So if you want to join up there to talk about, listen to my rambling about that, get notified and stuff, that's one way to do it. That second YouTube link, youtube.com/@baseworkersarchive, is where you can find a backlog of VODs and stuff that I have recorded. No goals for anything for that right now. It's there if you want to watch and subscribe. No worries if not. This video is probably going to go up on that channel on March 19th at noon Central Time. So, you can always watch it on Twitch beforehand, but just know that's when it'll be released onto YouTube. No plans to release this onto the main YouTube channel currently, but, it's always an option if you need a backlog or something. Speaking of the main YouTube channel, that's where all the actual effort videos go into. youtube.com/LetsPlayBaseBookers. It's where I do quote-unquote LPs, video essays, whatever edited video content I want to make. That's where all that goes. Currently pushing towards 500 subscribers. Eventually, hopefully to turn on AdSense and profit off of that somehow. So if you want to subscribe, ring the bell, watch videos there. It'd be appreciative. Again, never required though. It's all optional. What to expect on that channel. The Last of Us Part 2 is currently being released on Mondays at noon Central. Occasionally there'll be a clip of either The Last of Us or other stuff happening on Fridays at noon Central. And then Xenoblade X is going to come out after that at some point. I don't really have a plan in place for when or how. Just the scheduling of it all is part of the awkward rambliness of behind-the-scenes stuff that you can see in the Discord. That's everything. I think that's everything I have to say. Thank you guys again so much for being here in whatever capacity, whether you're just lurking, if you stopped by to say hi and then left, we're here the entire time talking. Any of it is greatly appreciated. It means a lot that you choose to spend your time here. But yeah, I will see you guys next time for whatever I end up doing, whether it be this or The Last of Us or Xenoblade or whatever. So now if I go to raid somebody. Okay, I know you have your settings turned off. It's a replay anyway, and I don't know you well enough to raid you at all. No one else is online. So yeah, okay. That's gonna be strange. Thank you guys, and I'll see you guys for whatever happens next. Bye!